We are going live. I've had difficulty with the technology, which is not really the technology that's difficult, it's me that is difficult. Anyway, that's life, and that's what happens on mission. And I could tell many stories of how things have gone wrong along the way. But since I'm a bit confused with the technology this morning, I can't think of a single story. What I was going to say was about entering into another culture with another people and another language, and how we need to have respect for people and respect their rights, but also respect their duties towards each other, and that we need to also in our own lives be aware that we have rights, but we also have duties to the community. One little story out of Port Moresby, which I heard some years ago. Of course, Port Moresby is a big city, mixture of many people from many parts of Papua New Guinea, and people get married, and then at some stage they want to do their traditional ritual of marriage. The difficulty is that people from different tribes and different language groups have different customs of how they do it. So this story was that there was a couple wanting to take their marriage to that step of a traditional marriage, and so one side of the relationship discussed their own customs, and then someone was sent to the other side of the other family to listen to what is their customs. And with this backwards and forwards between the two families, they worked out how they were going to do the ritual that would satisfy everybody. This is respecting the rights of others. This is also carrying out your responsibility and your duty to respect the rights of others. We hear a lot these days, and we heard it recently with these demonstrations and protests about vaccines and lockdown restrictions and so on and so forth. Now, it is everybody's right to protest. However, it is everybody's duty to protect the community. And many of these people, they're talking about their rights, very vehemently about their rights, but there was no mention of what is their responsibility to others. Many others who didn't go to those protests were doing precisely that. They were respecting others, and they were respecting their obligation to protect themselves and society. And that's very, very important in this situation at the moment. In one sense, you could say you don't have a right to drive a vehicle on the road unless you have a license. You don't have a right to travel internationally without a passport. You don't have a right to get on a bus or a train or go into a picture theatre unless you have a ticket or you've paid your fare somewhere or others. So you don't have a right to endanger others. So this idea of perhaps having a vaccine license, well, it's only another step in how we protect ourselves in a situation where there's a deadly virus. And one of the facts about this virus and these blood clotting, as I read the other day, is if you have the AstraZeneca, the likelihood of getting a blood clot is 0.0004. It's about 1 in a million. If you get COVID, the chance of getting a blood clot is 0.12. Far greater chance of the virus giving you a blood clot than the vaccination. So our obligation is to protect ourselves and to protect society by getting a vaccination. I mean, you have more chance of dying. You will step off the footpath, got more chance of being run over than you have dying of blood clot. So it doesn't make much sense, really. So in our world today, if we talk about culture, our culture is changing because of COVID. And we have to learn the new rules. And we have to abide by it. We have to respect that. Certainly I have my rights, but I have my duties. And part of it is obey the lockdown rules. Listen to what the experts are telling us. And then we have more chance of survival. And this is part of how we go about living as Christians in our society. Many good things about our society and our culture have come from the Christian beliefs. One of them is love one another, respect one another, listen to one another, and all of this comes into play at this present moment. And if we are to survive, then we need this thing of respecting others and carrying out our duties. So in all of this, we have a mission to the world: one, to be sensible; one, to respect others; one, to do our duties, and so on. And so we will survive. Not easy, very difficult, but we need to do that to survive. Have a great day on the mission today when you're in lockdown.